actually like scoff at vegan options on menus. I'm like, why would you eat something without cheese on it? That's like ridiculous.
Hi, I'm Rodney.
I'm Alexis,
And this is the Vegan Agenda.
In response to the Why I Am No Longer Vegan videos that have been trending, we've decided to make a collection of interviews with everyday vegans who have made an ethical connection and have chosen not to use animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose.
Veganism is not just a diet, it's a lifestyle based on an intention to minimize the suffering and exploitation of animals.
If you find this video informative, interesting, enjoyable, or helpful, please like, subscribe, and share.
My name is Adriana Steinberg, and I live in Austin, Texas. I've been vegan for 4 years now, and I was raised vegetarian, so all that adds up to about 30 years, a little more maybe. The first thing that got me interested in trying a vegan lifestyle was Kimberly Snyder. She writes these books called The Beauty Detox Solution. So just got me interested in the whole idea behind eating a diet that allows your body to be the most efficient and instead of fighting toxins all the time. But just that was really just what initiated my interest, because she referenced the China study. And once I read about the China study, it made a lot of sense to me how countries that are getting a lot of their calories from protein from animals have much higher cancer rates. And that was really just the beginning of this rabbit hole I started down, because once you research this, you have more questions and you start researching more and more, and you just realize, wow, a lot of this is just really ringing true to me, and there's just kind of a point of no return. Doing all this research, I found out a lot of things, and when I was vegetarian, it was easy for me to think that, I wasn't causing any animals to die because I'm not eating meat. They're just byproducts. What's the harm? But then once you start doing this research, you realize that, well, if you're eating dairy, you're fueling the meat industry, because those baby cows have to be used up somehow, because that's how you get milk. And so if I don't believe in the meat industry, why would I buy products that, are contributing to that business? If I don't believe in it, I shouldn't put my money there. So, and there's so many things about the egg industry too that I don't believe in, and the animals are just treated horribly, and I can't just can't support something like that. So I had heard of veganism. I thought they were extreme. I thought that wow, can't you enjoy anything in life? And I would actually like scoff at vegan options on menus. I'm like, why would you eat something without cheese on it? That's like ridiculous. Obviously I've changed my mind a lot on all that. And that's a good thing though. And my taste has changed. Since I stopped eating animal products, things taste differently to me. Sometimes I'll be served something by somebody who, in their good-hearted way, they thought it was vegan, but and maybe they like were a little ignorant on what is actually vegan. And if I taste it, I can tell right away there's animal products in there. It just has like a metallic taste to it, and because my brain like connects that to like animal protein and meat, like I instantly puts me off. Like I don't even enjoy the taste really. And then things with dairy, they taste like I get really, like I feel like I have bad breath after eating it. I don't like it. There's like a film in my mouth. So the way I started going vegan was Monday through Friday. Those are the work days. I would eat completely vegan, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then on the weekends, those would be like my cheat days. I would say, "Oh, I'm going out. I'm gonna indulge and eat whatever I want." And on those cheat days, more and more, I just found that I wasn't enjoying them like I thought I would. some of it might have been like, you know, a little bit of guilt, and also just the fact that like I was listening to my body more, because I had this stretch of time where I wouldn't eat any animal products and then I would. And I was very in tune with like what was actually happening and how it made me feel inside. And it was um, it helped me kind of just get to this transition where I didn't do it overnight, like I know like some people do, but sometimes that can be kind of overwhelming, and I feel like maybe they change too much, and then it just all goes reverts later. So I mean that's the way I chose to do it, and it was an easy transition because like it just became something I didn't want to do anymore, you know. I can count on one hand like how many times I've eaten meat since I was a kid. Like even my mom was, when she was pregnant, she was vegetarian, and then she raised all us kids vegetarian. My parents both went vegetarian in high school. My dad told me he once thought he would become like a Buddhist monk and like live out in the mountains in a temple, and then of course he met my mom. Yes, very big animal lovers. But they grew up eating meat, and so they but like they changed in high school. They went vegetarian. My parents always raised us to be kind. That was kind of like our motto. That's something my dad would tell me every day, heading out to school. And so like we would like save bugs, and you know always like look out for animals that needed help, and just big animal lovers. My mom would take in stray cats all the time, and they just become part of the family. And so like when you're a kid, before you meet all the other kids at school, like all that's just normal for you, and then you realize, wow, like not everyone thinks like that. And so I did feel very different in school, but I guess if that was the big thing people like kids would tease me about, I feel like I maybe had it lucky. But it's hard to be different, you know. There's a lot of pressure that comes with trying to fit in and trying to be on the in crowd, you know, and being different makes that hard to do. It takes a strong person to be willing to be different, you know. But as a kid, that affects you a lot more. But I still encounter it today. I mean, there's like such a bro culture revolving around our choices. I just feel like when I bring in vegan food to work, like people, not people, but like certain people feel like they just have to say something about, oh, that's not going to taste good, or why would you why would you even bother eating that, you know? And I think that's really unfortunate that there's this like really weird stigma about vegan food in the first place. But I do encounter it like quite often, unfortunately. If I'm feeling like especially sassy, you know, I'll try to come back with a witty comment, but sometimes I just don't have the energy for it, and it's just kind of like, well, you're missing out. More for me, you know. I just, you know, I don't have the energy for it. I'm like, whatever, I got better things to do with my time. I'm in the medical field. I'm a laboratory scientist. So when you get your blood drawn and your doctor orders tests, I run those tests.
So these are people in a medical profession chastising you for eating plant.
Who aren't exactly the healthiest themselves. I would say I eat out like a couple times a week at least. But I get bored eating the same thing all the time. But I do have my staples, and I like really love making protein bowls for lunch. It'll be kale at the bottom, just because like it microwaves so well. It's so good for you. I love kale. And then some steamed sweet potatoes, some quinoa, maybe some beans, some pumpkin seeds or some other kind of nut. And then I really love field roast.
That sounds amazing.
So good. So I'll put like some that field roast sausage in there with some dressing, and it's so good. Oh, I do the grocery shopping for me and my husband.
Is he vegan also?
He is not, but I feel like I've definitely influenced him. All of our groceries are vegan. Our whole house is vegan. There was a point where he would still ask me to buy like deli meats and things for him, and I would, but at some point he stopped asking me to, and so I just didn't buy him anymore, and he was totally fine with it. Like, he loves the food I make, and the thing is, when we go out to eat, like, he will usually order something with chicken in it, but he doesn't eat red meat anymore, and I feel like that has a lot to do with probably living with me. Some of it can be. It just depends on um, how fancy you want to get or what you're not willing to make yourself. So, if you're someone who's like a big cheese fiend and you just feel like you have to have some kind of replacement, I think those are maybe on par. Some of them can be like a bit more expensive, but um, the alternative meats and cheeses are where you're gonna like spend a bit more money. But if you're just sticking with like whole grains and whole food, fruits and vegetables, you're gonna save a lot of money in that respect, and it's gonna be a lot healthier than eating all the processed stuff. But I admit I do like those, so I do buy them. Austin is super veg friendly, and I have no problem whatsoever indulging in delicious vegan food whenever I want. So I feel very grateful for that. I feel a lot differently when I travel at times, especially if, like, say I'm with a group of people and I don't get to call the shots on where we're eating. I feel like, maybe I get stuck with, like a typical American style restaurant, and then I have to start getting creative. But usually I can find something to eat wherever I go. It's just might not be as satisfying depending on where you go. I grew up in the Midwest too, so we just don't have as long a growing season up there. So we don't get quite the array of fruits and veggies that we get down here. Like those delicious little mangoes. I've never seen those till I moved down here. And I hadn't really eaten avocados much till I came down here either. So just it's a little more limited just because of the growing season up there. I find that like veggie burgers are pretty common when you're traveling. Uh, if you have to do fast food, like Taco Bell is very veg friendly, and even Burger King has a vegan burger. You just have to ask for no mayo on it. One trick I do is if I want, like, say, if there's a veggie burger and I'm feeling like, oh, cheeseburger would have sounded better, I order avocado instead of cheese. It works great. You still have like that delicious fattiness that comes with what you're craving, and it's creamy. It's a great option to try out. Plant-based diet right there is a diet, right? It's strictly what you're eating, and being vegan is really all about adopting this lifestyle where you don't participate in any activities or um, clothing or food that originated from an animal. Um, you're against exploiting animals for um, your entertainment, for your food, and for your lifestyle. And so, eating plant-based diet, I feel like that maybe what someone chooses when they want to lose weight, or they're looking for some other benefit from a vegan diet, which there are many. And I don't fault anyone for that, but like if you are doing that and then like going to the circus and where there's animals performing, or going to SeaWorld, or buying leather couches and things like, those things do not go together. So if you want to, like, say you're vegan, you need to be down for the cause, basically. You need to adopt all of your lifestyle choices to match that reflection. Probably the thing I'm most happiest about is that I don't break out like I used to. My skin used to just be like an oil slick all the time, and I would try these supplements, I would try like all these things, different makeups, blotting papers. It never was enough. And when I stopped eating dairy, I mean, that stopped. I don't know if there was like the hormones in the dairy that was causing this, or what, or maybe my body just does not agree with dairy. Um, but my skin got so much clearer, which that was a battle for me. Like, my whole life. So I was so happy about
Your
that.
skin looks so good. It's hard to believe that
Thank
you
you.
had to deal with that.
I mean, I still break out once in a while, but it's not like a constant daily struggle like it used to be. One thing I'll say is that like these companies that I love, 100% Pure, for instance, it's all plant-based. It's all comes from flowers and fruit. And it's not like just a bunch of plastic that you're putting on your skin, making it unable to breathe and clogging your pores. Um, you know, brands like Revlon and Maybelline, they're so great at like saying that this is the luxury, this is what, you know, beauty is, but it's really like toxic chemicals and that stuff. It's not good for you. It's not doing your skin any benefit. Sure, it might like cover up some issues you're dealing with, but in the long run, it's just gonna do more damage to your skin anyways. So you should just avoid all that stuff. It's easier to maintain my weight now. When I was vegetarian, I would have to go on diets every once in a while just because like I had overindulged and felt like, you know, I wasn't happy with my weight. And I feel like it's a lot easier to just maintain my normal weight when I'm vegan. I don't have any trouble doing that. Right away, the thing that jumped into my head is eating out and social engagements. Because when you're eating out, you have this expectation. You're going there to indulge and enjoy yourself. And if you feel like you are restricted in what you want to eat, you may not enjoy yourself as much. And so for me, that was like a little difficult at first. But I would just have to kind of remind myself why I'm choosing to eat the way I am. And like I'm doing it for the animals. And then so social engagements are hard too because like just everyone's always talking about meat or cheese or whatever, and they're all sitting there enjoying it, and it's not necessarily like I want to eat it, but it's just like unavoidable. Like, you know, people are always going to be um eating meat around me, and that's just something I've had to get used to. But you know, as a vegan, like I can't help but just cringe a little bit. I don't like the smell. Just the fact that it's like flesh that grosses me out. But then like, you know, just the sorrow too of knowing like what had to happen for them to enjoy that. So it's tough, right? Because there's a lot of resistance to suggesting changing someone. Um, it's people take it very personally. So it's really important if you're trying to influence people to not be overly aggressive or because they'll shut down, they just get defensive and they're not even going to listen to what you're saying. So I try to take like a gentle approach when it comes to that. Just um, you know, just by me being vegan and living a happy, healthy life, like I feel like hopefully that influences people, and I think in ways it has. But just getting in someone's face and telling them they're doing this and they're killing the planet and their body. I mean, no one's gonna listen to you. You know, it has to. They have to decide they want to change, and to do that, you have to wake up somehow first. I do get some angst. I'm not gonna lie. It can get very frustrating sometimes, just because um, you know that like all these animals are suffering, and if I mean, have you ever like gone to the website and seen like how many animals are being like slaughtered every second? It's
just
like
the numbers.
oh, instant depression, man.
Billions. Yeah.
Millions
So
every day.
that's called
Millions.
dystopia, right? This feeling of being surrounded by carnism once you've been awoken to the reality, the suffering, the climate change and everything. And I found that going out and doing some activism to people who are receptive helps me sort of get rid of some of that angst. You're actually doing vegan activism right now because this is going to reach a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was kind of my goal today. More athletes than ever are adopting a vegan lifestyle, and it's not because they want to be weaker than everyone else. It's because they find so much more strength and energy that they get from a vegan diet. I mean, there are vegan bodybuilders out there. If they're able to gain muscle mass and do bodybuilding, I'm sorry, like that's just falls flat. It's not an argument.
Especially since most people aren't doing those
Yeah,
things anyway.
I
They're
feel
just
like
at home.
if you're feeling weak, it's probably because you're missing out on some kind of nutrient, and maybe you're depending on processed foods too much rather than focusing on whole foods and getting all the vitamins and nutrients that your body needs. But by eating more plants, you're going to automatically eat more vitamins and minerals, which meat provides, like zinc, and like a few other vitamins. But what's really rich in vitamins is the plants, and that's where the animals that get turned into meat get all of their minerals from, is from plants. You're getting like a diluted version of what they ate anyways. Yeah, just get it straight from the source, and there you go. Well, if you're gonna go for rice, I would recommend brown rice. It has more nutrition in it. So brown rice and vegetables is a great meal. You just steam some veggies, and make sure you have good spices at home, because you don't want to be eating bland food. No one likes, I mean, I guess some people like bland food, but I certainly don't. I like it spicy. So, get some good spices if you don't have them. Get some good cookbooks. There's so many great cookbooks out there. The Veganomicon is great, and it has like typical foods that most Americans enjoy, but a veganized version of it. And all the ingredients, it's nothing crazy, nothing super fancy. You can find all the stuff at most grocery stores. So it's kind of funny because I went vegan around the same time as my parents did, and it was totally unrelated as far as like why or like how it came about, because we live like across the country from each other, and so it wasn't like, oh, we're making this change and it influenced one or the other. Rather, my dad got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes after experiencing numbness in his feet, and realized that he had to make some lifestyle changes. And so he found out about Dr. Barnard and adopted his lifestyle changes, eating a low fat vegan diet. And he lost weight and pretty much reversed his type 2 diabetes, just like Dr. Barnard's book says you can. In fact, he's off his medications. He only needs to see a doctor like, once or twice a year now, just like most people do.
Basically eliminating the remaining animal products.
Yeah.
Had a huge health impact, a positive
Definitely,
impact on his
yeah.
health.
Here's lab grown meat. No animal suffered to produce it. Like, would you still eat it? For me, no, I wouldn't. But that's because I just have a repulsion to meat. Maybe I'm lucky in that way because I was raised in an environment where we didn't eat meat. But I also just feel like it's not a healthy choice for your body. Once you learn how are you going to feed this entire planet where everyone eats meat and dairy, it's um I mean, it's contributing so much to climate change, and it's only going to get worse. Maybe have a support group if you feel like you're so like a loner and all your friends kind of point you out for being different all the time, which um that does happen to me sometimes. But I feel like because I've been a vegan for 4 years now, it's not as difficult. I feel like everyone accepts that that's how I am now.
Do you have a lot of vegan friends or on online support groups?
I would always take more. But yeah, I've made a few vegan friends since going vegan, and it's kind of great when you meet another vegan, as long as they're friendly. I mean, you have an instant connection with that person because you're both down for the cause, and you're instantly gonna have so much to talk about. So I always get excited meeting new vegans.
What do you think about why I am no longer vegan videos and other videos that disparage veganism and spread misinformation about the vegan lifestyle?
So I think they're kind of annoying. I don't watch them per se because I don't want to give them extra views. Plus, I don't want to waste my time. I already have done plenty of research to know that, if it didn't work for this person, like, that's on them, I guess. But maybe they could have done more research, or bought a new cookbook or something to make it work, because maybe they weren't eating enough food. I think that's another mistake people make.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem.
I eat enough food.
I have a great appetite. One person can make a difference. Certainly makes a difference to like whatever animals they would have eaten in the course of a year, of course across a full lifetime. But you never know like who you're going to influence, and um, obviously the more people you influence, the greater the impact you make on the planet. Basically, do no harm. My favorite one is VegNews. I love the magazine and how they do articles about traveling to different cities and different places you can eat there and different products that are coming out. I do Instagram, and you can follow me. My name is Baby Carrots. It's BABY_KARROTZ.
Oh, thank you so much. You did such a great job.
Thank you.
I'm
Thanks
really
for doing
excited about
this and spreading the word. I think it's
Absolutely.
great what you guys are doing here.
And this is fun.
We hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to be interviewed, please visit the Vegan Agenda on Facebook. Look for the flying pigs.
We will be featuring more interesting and inspiring vegans, so be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell for notifications. If you want to help us promote veganism, please support the Vegan Agenda on Patreon.
We would love to hear from you. Please comment below to let us know your thoughts.
Thanks for watching.